The most immediate is Boko Haram's insurgency. Progress has been made in recent weeks by our security forces, but victory cannot be achieved by basing the command and control center in Abuja. The command center will be relocated to Maiduguri and remain until Boko Haram is completely subdued.
Fulfilling this promise would need strong political will, and that's exactly the way to go.
Boko Haram is a typical example of small fires causing large fires.
For several years, daredevil insurgents have had the northeastern part of Nigeria in their hands, wreaking havoc on the people, property, recreational centers and places of worship. Economic life in the region also became silent, but the silence is broken at intervals by the shattering sounds of explosions. The marching order by President Muhammadu Buhari to the military to liberate major cities and towns hit by the Boko Haram members looks to be yielding results as security forces penetrate their hideouts, killing some and recovering weapons. The General Officer commanding 3 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Muhammad Sani Aliyu, recently disclosed in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, that the insurgents who have been terrorizing Babangida town and its environs were caught assembling arms at Chirokusko village of Tamuwa local government area of the state during a raid.
Following a tip-up, our unit resident here undertook an operation at Chukorusko, where the locals there did not know that the insurgents, when I say insurgents here, I'm particularly referring to Boko Haram. And they were resident in the area. They are building arms with whatever intention, nobody knows. But one patriotic local among them reported immediately to the military leadership here, and an operation was carried out. The result is what you will see there. We found them, and there was military activity, and luckily 14 of them were killed, and out of the 14 of them that died, apart from those who fled with some injuries, we recovered about 16 weapons.
At another forum, General Muhammad Aliyu hints that the army is making efforts to reopen the 156 kilometers Damaturu-Biu road, which links Yobe state to neighboring Adamawa, Taraba, and Gombe states. The road was closed to traffic owing to Boko Haram's nefarious activities. The GOC is confident that the military operation is yielding positive results and on the path of victory.
The only challenge I saw here is erosion that has affected many parts of the road. So it is going to be difficult for people to pass, which I have already told my military leadership, and I will explain same to His Excellency, the Governor of the state, so that some work will be done on the road. Because if I allow you to drive there now, you just go into a ditch. You will not know if you are not careful, because the water, the rain or whatever, it looked like an earthquake, honestly, to me. I was asking people, is this an earthquake? They said, no, it's water. The rain passed under the coltar, ate it under, then the coltar dropped in the middle, and many part of the road before Bunyadi, even between here and Gujiba and between Gujiba and Bunyadi, it has happened like that. So, but once we clear the road, there is no problem. We give security to these people who are passing through, and I assure you there will be no problem once that is achieved. We are doing everything possible to ensure that the socio-economic activities in this area start as soon as possible, and we are working towards that. And I assure you that sooner than you expect it, all those places will start their normal life. And I know the life the people have been living in, and it is really disrupted. Farming activities is not going on, commercial activities is not going on. So within the mandate we have, the speedy restoration of those activities is our principal desire. And we are doing everything within our effort, within our disposal to ensure that those things resume as quick as possible. The army is reinforcing us with more troops right now. Yesterday alone, I received about 400 soldiers, which I intended to use to open the commercial activity along Damaturu Road. Inshallah, very soon that road will be open to civilian passage, and I mean very, very soon.
In a chat with Liberos Oshoma, a legal practitioner and public analyst, the victory is yet to be total. Blinking an eye on the current fragile victory may spell doom. The Nigerian government promised to rid the northeast of Boko Haram insurgency last year, at the end of last year, 2015. But that war was not totally won. However, the battle continues in that part of the country. But there are claims from the military and the government also that they are having an upper hand. Do you agree with this statement?
I agree that a lot had been done. We are not where we were, but we are not where we are supposed to be. It is only people that have not been in this country in the past couple of years, in the past couple of months, that will disagree that nothing had been done. A lot had been done. We remember at the early stage of this administration, the bombs were going off, almost on a daily basis, right from December and May 30th. It got to a point people lost count of, people that have died. And it was like a thorn in the flesh of this early, the young administration. And thereafter, we saw the military was like a comeback. And then they took, it on their stride, and, a lot of effort had been made also. And then also largely, Boko Haram activities now are taking the back burner. These activities of Boko Haram had been, are now underreported, unlike they were before. Before, it was almost on a daily, it was like the only thing to be discussed in the media. Now you have, a whole lot of issues to be discussed. You have missing budget, you have the fight against corruption, you have the arms gates issue. That's when people talk about Boko Haram now, that is what they discussed. The military, we should celebrate them because for tomorrow, a lot of them are giving there today.
It's one thing to reclaim territories. It's another thing to make the territories habitable. However, it looks as if there are still fears by members of a particular territory that has been claimed by the military to return home for fear of being attacked again.
There are still some communities, under the control of Boko Haram. If you remember, when the military celebrated that there's no more community under control of Boko Haram, the same governor of Borno State said there were still about 3 communities in control, controlled by Boko Haram. And even some members of some people in the IDPs who were asked to relocate back to their communities refused to go, that they knew what happened before when some of them relocated and how they were, the communities were invaded again by members of Boko Haram. And that some of these communities, though, had been visited by the Chief of Army Staff, but that in the moment the Chief of Army Staff and his entourage left, because there were no boot soldiers on ground, these members of Boko Haram that built fortresses in the forest, it's easy for them to always come back and reclaim these communities. And also, if you say communities, there are no more communities under the control of Boko Haram, and also Nigeria had been completely liberated, then where are the Chibok girls? Where are the so many other people that have been kidnapped? And there are some people, if you remember, some even Bunu Yadi, there were people that were kidnapped from all these places, but it was the Chibok girls that represented all of the kidnapped victims. And to date, we have not heard that the military, apart from the one person we heard of that was kidnapped by the, that was arrested, who participated in the abduction of Chibok girls, we have not heard that other people were arrested and volunteer information to ascertain or to tell us where the Chibok girls are. Yeah, we have gone a long way in the fight against Boko Haram, in eradicating the menace, but yet there's still a whole lot that needs to be done because some of them are still hanging around. It's like you chase them out of the community, and the moment you leave, they come back. And most especially because the Nigerian military do not have enough manpower to control or to man or provide security in all of these communities. And then when you use the Nigerian police, is it the Nigerian mobile police also that are understaffed that you're going to use to take over these communities, or the normal plainclothes police that are ill-equipped, that, a menace that cannot be confronted by the military, that it's taking military time? Is it the police that are ill-equipped with just 3 bullets that are going to combat them? So these are basically all the issues.
Goza was one of the strongholds of the Boko Haram members, but the military has now moved into that particular area, even hoisting the Nigerian flag. Is that action making any statement at all?
Goza in military parlance, most especially for men of the Nigerian mobile police, used to be a town where if you visit Goza, if you have not visited Goza as a mobile police, you are not yet a full-fledged mobile police. And so with the attack and what eventually became of Goza, Baga, Bama, and all of that, it was a shame on Nigeria. And so when the military took back Goza, and they needed also to make a bold statement by hoisting the Nigerian flag. It's not in every community that they, reclaim that they go to hoist the Nigerian flag. I'm not, maybe, but I'm not aware of that. But because of the strategic, nature of that community, Goza. And so that's why they had to go make that statement to say that, look, this community, we have taken it back. And then, Goza was in the news over time for wrong reasons. And also, Goza was attacked a couple of times, if you remember. And so that became very significant. And then also, that helped in the confidence that people now had in the military, believing that they will be able to do, what they said they would do and prosecute the war to a logical conclusion.